Hey, SEC stuff. It is Georgia and Emma, and we are here to review the Alabama Georgia game. Alabama ended the Dogs' 33 game home streak, but the streak of Alabama beating Georgia continues. Kirby Smart is now 1-7 when it comes to playing Alabama. Ty Simpson had a total of 3 touchdowns, and this one had momentum swings, missed chances, fourth quarter stand. It just was an Alabama Georgia game. It was what we expect.
Yeah, I had so much fun. After the game, I was like, that felt like the SEC championship. And at this point, it very well could be. I thought both of these teams fought really hard. I thought there were missed chances on both sides of the field. I had an amazing time. Bama converted 12 for 19 on third downs. They held Georgia to just 2 and 8 on third downs, which is much better. They were 4 for 4 in the red zone. The total offense was 397 yards. And in the second quarter, Proctor caught that lateral pass from Ty Simpson and he rumbled on down the sideline. And I thought that was one of the best plays I'd ever seen. So I thought it was a great, great time for the offense. Granted, they didn't score any points in the second half, but I thought with this team, it felt more balanced to me because the defense was slightly lacking in the first quarter and the first half of the game. And Bama on the offensive side was just scoring points. Then the offense didn't score points at all the second half of the game, but the defense stepped up and kept their hopes alive of winning this game. So I was very, very impressed with this team. This felt more like a true Bama team, a lot more passing than running, but a true Bama team.
I mean, it's disappointing to see the like momentum in the second half. Like obviously it wasn't like they didn't try, but Georgia always comes out in the second half like they're a completely different team. Like they're just like, "Oh, we didn't want to play the first half. Well, let's just play the second half."
And I even texted you during the game, right before the second half started, and I was like, "Well, time for Georgia to punch back," and they did. So it's just something that you have to outlast, and Bama was able to do that. So it was definitely impressive, especially away.
Yes, it definitely was it was fun. Alabama has a lot of things they need to work on, and I think that those were shown, especially during the second half. They have absolutely no run defense. The running game struggled as well, our Alabama's rushing yards, and, I mean, Georgia had, like, multiple 20+ rushing, like, yards in a single play, um, which is definitely something that's not allowed. That's also not Alabama football, like, we're supposed to stop the run.
Absolutely, and I think there were mistakes coaching-wise on both sides. Kane Womack, obviously, in the first half, pulled everybody in instead of keeping some safeties out there, and it cost us a touchdown. He even said on the field, "That was me, that was me." And then also Kirby not taking the points, that one time and trying to go for a touchdown or first down, and it was just it was not it. I think in that playing Alabama, especially with your record against Alabama, you just wanna take the points. So I thought on both sides, there were a few questionable calls coaching-wise, and overall, Bama did outcoach them, and I don't know if Kirby just has an Alabama problem, like he sees the script today and cowers, or Kalen DeBoer just knows how to scheme in those big moments. It does seem to be the smaller teams or the teams you wouldn't expect that he loses to, but he always shows up in these big moments. So it is an interesting question there. But I do think Georgia has a slight quarterback problem because only 130 passing yards at home against Alabama is not playoff level production. The offensive run is heavy, which makes this team predictable, and that is going to hurt them down the line. And obviously, this team has tackling issues, especially in the backfield. And if a lot doesn't improve, they gave up 262 yards in the first half and missed key tackles, echoing the same problems they had giving up 496 yards to Tennessee last week, which is a slight improvement, but that still really needs to be addressed if they're going to be playoff ready.
This is not the end for Georgia, and I think that everyone knows that. Nobody's really stressed out. Like, yes, it sucks as a Georgia fan for you to lose to Alabama again, but nobody's like, "Oh, this is the end all for Georgia,"
This
because
might be their only loss.
exactly, exactly. So, At this point, I just think that Georgia fans should just expect we're probably going to lose to Alabama.
But
But
every year, everybody picks them, and I'm like, "Not so
yeah,
fast."
not so fast. Yes. And like you said, there were a lot of missed tackles on Georgia's defense, which is just the defense looks shaky, and that's not Kirby Smart defense. So I don't know really what's going on there. They're not playing fundamental football. They're not following through on their tackles. They're not tackling right. If you watch the games, like they're not lining up and tackling correctly. And I think that's where it's getting to them. And then, of course, Georgia had those mistakes. Nate Frazier fumbled the ball deep in Georgia territory. Shout out to Bray Hubbard. He looks incredible. We've talked about him. He went viral for jogging on the field, and he is just completely 180'd. It seemed like he is just there to hit people, and it's really impressive. Like, I think he just gets a lot of joy from it, and that's great because you're on defense. You should get a lot of joy from hitting people. Um, they also had that play where the Georgia player jumped onto the pile.
That was funny.
I liked that they kept playing it in slow motion, and
Yep.
she was a fairy. Like, it was incredible
The
to not.
TikTok edits on that one is awesome.
I mean, it was just so funny. Obviously, it's not funny if you're cheering for Georgia and you're like, "You dumb idiot." But I think even on the sideline, like, you could see him kinda giggling, like, "Oops, like, I did that, but, there's nothing you can do about it now." It was that play was very funny to me. But yeah, Georgia just has things to work on, and that's fine. We're still early-ish in the season. So I don't think that, we should be super stressed out for Georgia. They're going to be okay. What I am stressed about for Alabama is now they have Vandy, and we saw what last happened last year. And I think this year it won't happen again. But Vanderbilt is 5-0.
They are, but I do think Bama is gonna put Diego on the ground a lot, and somebody will clip this when they don't. But I think this is gonna be a big, big revenge game, and especially with them being led by Ty Simpson, who has just been so efficient. He's been so calm. They haven't turned the ball over. He's really, really smart, and he processes defenses well. He processes the game well. So he just seems amazing. And they're like Heisman, Heisman, Heisman last night. And I'm like, all right, let's get through the next 2 months. Then we can give him a Heisman, and I would be very happy if they did because he is sensational. He, after they won that game, was jumping up and down like a kid on Christmas who just got a Lego Death Star. It was so cute. But he's a great anchor for this team. He seems like an amazing leader. They kept showing the clip of him pumping up his team before they took the field, and I think he is great for this team. I also, and I know you love Jalen Milroe, am wondering if he was this good last year and they just didn't play him because they just wanted to keep the consistency. Because if he was, I'm upset with you, Caitlin DeBoer.
I think that it lined up perfectly because with, new OC, I think that really makes a difference. And so even if Ty Simpson was that good last year, I don't think he would have been utilized the way he should have been. So I think this is definitely just a perfect combination. And I wasn't a Ty Simpson doubter before this game. I just was like, yeah, that's our quarterback, whatever. And I actually was talking, he just didn't have, to me, the aura that I expect from quarterbacks, and especially Alabama quarterbacks. Being an Alabama fan, like, you really have to win me over with your personality. And he definitely did that last night and did it with his play as well. So obviously I knew he was a good player. I was like, yeah, he's a good player. But last night, like, he cares and he's passionate. And that's what we love to see, is someone that cares and is passionate about their team. They're not just there. Um, so I just think this whole team really meshes well together, and I think that's really important. You can see that they care about each other. Um, I love it.
I agree. I do want to talk quickly about Ryan Williams. He did drop that pass, but I think as the game progressed and he started getting some easier throws to him, it just needs to build his confidence. I don't really know what's going on with him. I know Kirk Herbstreit during the game said, in this current age of NIL, they put too much pressure on themselves, and that might be it, especially with how strong he was in the Georgia game last year. He felt like he needed that crazy, amazing, flashy hero like play. So maybe that is it. And hopefully he gets out of his head. It's like Simone Miles getting the twisties. So maybe it is something like that. But he's still, like you saw in the Wisconsin game when he like jumped back because he sees a defender. You can't teach that kind of body awareness. And he has all of the right tools. It's just whether or not they will execute in the future or be executed in the future, because there's something I think mentally going on. But I think throughout the game he built his confidence back up, and he was fine. But he definitely hasn't been the Ryan Williams we knew from last year's Georgia game, and that's okay. We're all here to grow and develop. They're still in school. But with Kalen DeBoer, he is showing that he can show up in these big games, which is something Nick Saban was fantastic at. He's now beat Kirby Smart in back-to-back years. So he has maintained Alabama's physical identity, but he's also modernized the offense, which is something exciting to see with this team. So I mean, he can win, guys. I understand that sometimes things fall flat. We don't need to go like get our pitchforks, Georgia. It's gonna be okay. But if you do lose to Vandy, then $70 million buyout doesn't sound so bad.
Yes. Yeah, and I was actually just thinking about that last night with the Ryan Williams thing is yeah, I definitely think it's just you can tell it's mental. And it's unfortunate because we're all rooting for him, and I feel like in this day and age, people are so easy to throw away players. I mean, even last night, I saw multiple things about, oh, get him off the field, get this player off the and well, even your team
Yeah.
and stop throwing away these 18, 19-year-old kids that are literally playing with a ball. And you're sitting here hating on the internet. There's a reason that they're on the field and you're not, because you really couldn't do any better than they're doing.
Well, I think the guy who won the kicking competition at Penn State could do better than Connor Talty last night, with
Yeah.
all due respect.
I was very impressed by that kick. That was a
Whee!
good kick. Yeah. And then our kick, I was like, "Oh, got a little nerves going on." Which I get it. I'd be really nervous too. I would be like, "Oh my goodness, I don't even know how to kick a ball. Put me out." So, yeah, I definitely think it's mental. And I think you're seeing that a lot with a bunch of players that have big NIL deals, that there's a lot of mental stuff going on there. And yeah, with Kalen DeBoer, I mean, I definitely think he lost me at the beginning of the season. I was very, at last season, I was like, give him time, give him time, give him time. Very flexible with him. Beginning of the season, I grabbed my pitchfork. And then I relaxed a little bit and I was like, okay, it's okay. I'll calm down. But last night, yeah, I definitely think he knows what he's doing. Obviously, he's a good coach. Um, I think it's just going to take until the next loss for people to be angry at him again. And
Yeah.
I think that is just, once again, the modern age of football. Um, every single time there's a loss, the fans are going to be angry. But at the end, you can't
We
always.
don't have any attention span anymore. We're all on TikTok. It's like you lose, get out. And it's like, no, guys, let's calm down, read a book. It's gonna be okay. But next, Georgia is playing Kentucky. They're going to Sanford. They're hopefully going to win this game, to just get back on the right track of the season. I don't think Georgia will. If anything, they'll lose maybe one more game, and I think they will make the playoffs, potentially even the SEC championship. This is a good team, and it's led by Kirby Smart. Alabama, I see the same thing. I think they could potentially win out if they keep playing like they did last night. Or they could lose one more game and be 10-2. But I see both of these teams in the playoffs. I think they're both fantastic. But Vanderbilt is going to Tuscaloosa, and that is not something we normally would even talk about. But we might even cover that episode because, like you said, Vanderbilt is undefeated, and they did beat Alabama last year. And this could potentially be another trap game scenario, especially with how elusive Diego Pavia is and how Alabama is really struggling to stop the run. So we're gonna see. But this game was very exciting. It felt like, again, the SEC championship. Turned to my dad last night. I was like, I love watching Georgia and Bama play. I was like, it means something. It's fun. I'm like, Louisiana Monroe, the Wisconsin. I'm like, they don't matter as much in the long, like, grand scheme of things. This game mattered. It was fun for both sides, hopefully for Georgia. I mean, this is the game you want to go to. All those fans in the stands, like, this is a moment you want to be in, win or lose. I've been in the stands and we've lost. I've been in the stands and we've won. It's cool either way. It is the ups and downs of college football, and it is just a great, great time. So I thought last night was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I unfortunately would be kind of upset if I spent close to $1,000 on a ticket and then my team lost.
Students should get it like for $10, I think.
Well, maybe, yeah, I have no idea how that works, but yeah, I think this is great. The teams are gonna be great. It's gonna be a fantastic season for both teams, and I just can't wait to see where they end up come playoffs.
Yeah, and where they end up in the rankings. We're filming this before AP comes out. I'm expecting Bama to jump up quite a bit, maybe even make top 10 with the amount of losses in the top 10.
Yeah.
Maybe. And Georgia will fall a bit as well, but I don't think they should fall by any crazy number. And I think with Florida State losing, this is such a week to week thing nowadays with NIL. I forget who was saying it. It was during halftime. They were like, or maybe it was after the game. They were like, your backups, your second string is not the second string that we had 10 years ago, where they're just as good, just as disciplined, just as ready for the NFL. Like, these are kids that you still have to coach up because of NIL, and you can't stack your bench anymore. And so there's a big drop off between your first string and your second string, until they get more experience, until you train them more. So it is different, definitely a new age that we are in, which makes it fun week to week, which makes it anything can happen, which makes it so Lane Kiffin can say, "Where's Wit?" on the sideline after he beats LSU. But yeah, it's fun. This is such a fun weekend overall. So I had a great time.
Me too. Let us know what y'all thought about the game. Let us know where you think Georgia and Alabama are gonna end up, and we'll talk to y'all next time.